many people have never worked with forms before? All right, cool. So forms. So here's a basic form. Form, right there. And you can look up MDN form and read about the different attributes and values. But the main idea here is, you know, the two attributes that you have to pay the most attention to are action and method. And so action says, where do you want me to send this code to process it? And method is do you want me to send it as post or get? Those are your two choices. And if you send it as post, it's going, the data that the user is submitting to the server is going to be added to the submission, right, from the client. And so that's going to be part of the body. If you use get, it's going to go through the URL. And it'll turn all the stuff that the person submitted, it'll send it through the URL. Okay? And you can remember that because get is 3 letters and post is 4 letters. So get and URL are 3 letters, and post and body are 4 letters, right? And so that's for the method. How many people that doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever? Okay. So let me just show you what you could learn if you take the Go programming class. And I think Go is hooked up here, so I might as well just stick it in Spring 17. We'll see. I might switch to a different one. So this is 031 Go form submission. So I'm going to create a new Go file, and I'm going to call this main. And Go root is not defined. Set up Go root. Okay. And this is going to be main. And http.listen and serve is I can't type is my server. I'm using default serve mux, and then I do handle func to say what routes do what. Okay, and then I create a function. I call this one index, and it needs to have a response writer and a request, because on the web, clients make requests and servers write responses. And so this is going to handle the request and the response. And it's going to handle the request and the response when it comes into this place right here. I could also have process this route on my website. And I might call it like IDX process, but I'll just call it process. And then I'd call this one process. And so this will be the code that runs when somebody goes to this route. And then I could set it up to serve web pages. So I need templates. And that's some code. And then I'm going to have an init function. And that init function is going to initialize everything when my program runs. And then I'll have my HTML pages, templates, in a directory called templates. And inside here, I will have some files, and this will be index.go HTML. And then in here, I want to make this an HTML file, index, and then a form. And the action is going to be process. That's where I want to send what's being submitted to process. And method is going to be post. And then input type is going to be text. And I either need to add a label or a title attribute. So I could create a label, give this an ID, and F name. And this would be label, F name, first name, and placeholder. Please enter your first name. And then I need an input type submit to submit it. Cool. So I think I'll just add a little bit of a style. And the style will be body, display flex, justify content center, align items center. And in this form, I'll put it inside main. And so I'll have a main, and that will be border 2 pix solid black. And width, max width, 60%. And I think I'll do HTML font size 32 pixels. So now here, when somebody goes to template, I'm going to execute this template to the response. So the response writer is going to take index.go HTML, and I'm not going to pass any data to it. And then over here I'm going to process that form submission. And so to process that form submission, I need to catch what's coming to me. So the request is coming through, and here's the request method. And if it's not equal to http.method post, so if it's not equal to post, and http.redirect, go back to the form. And then return after that, so nothing keeps happening. And what did I do wrong? Unresolved type, method post, unresolved type. I thought that was what it was. Method, hp.method. If request method is not equal to post, request method not equal to, what am I doing wrong? Net HTTP if request method equals HTTP method post, do this. So that looks right. HTTP.method post do I need to bring, I've got that. Method post, constant from HTTP package. Function process. And it doesn't like that. Unresolved type, method post. Request method. Let's look at the request. Request method is a string. So Golang Playground. S colon equals that. If S not equal this, So you could take a string and do not equal to that. There's this. I'm missing something, apparently. Sorry for this, y'all. I don't know what is not it. I mean, would it work with equals? It's not even seeing it. And even when I do that and I do this and make it a string and say it's post, it's not liking that. It is evaluated but not used. Request method is not equal to post. Oh, if how do you like that? I forgot if. I forgot if. Man, oh man. So if that method's not equal to post, then this is only going to accept a post. But we might also be doing it as get. So we're going to take that out. So I did all of that, and now I'm going to take it out. And so what I want to get is first name is colon equal to request, and then it's form value. And the value I'm sending over is, that's not it. The value I'm sending over is name. I have to give it a name. And this name is going to be first name, okay? And I'm specifically giving it a different name here from ID, because ID is how you ID an element on a page. ID is how you ID an element on a page. Right? So right here, the label is saying for F name, and ID is allowing me to ID this element input right here. For name is different. That's me naming a variable. I'm naming a variable where the value that the person enters in this input field is going to be stored. And that variable is called first name. So over here, when I say retrieve a form value, I want first name. So it gave me first name. Okay? And then I could do TPL dot execute template writer and process dot go HTML and pass in first name to the template. And then over here, I could copy this template, call it process, and right here, instead of all that, I could just do H1 and display the data. So now when I run this, oh,
so this is go. Wait.
I don't know if it's in build because it's outside my source folder. We'll see what happens. I think it might be okay. I am in HTML CSS Bootcamp. Cool. There's my form submission. Could use a little more styling. James, submit, James. And all you see up here is localhost 8080 process. That's where it sent me. Watch what happens when I change the method from post to get. Shut my server down, restart it, launch a new one, bond. Look where it put the values in the URL because the method was get. Anything after a question mark is the payload, URL parameters, and their key value pairs. Key value, right? There's the variable name, first name, which is what I used in my form to name the variable, and there's the value, bond. So when you create a form, you're going to have action, where you want the results sent, and how you want them sent. Action and method. And then you're going to have inputs, like type text for first name, and a label to say which one, right, and connect it by ID, and then an input type submit to submit it all. So I want you to create a form that asks the user for their first name and last name.